I don't quite get the fascination with maids. There are maid cafes out there in the world. People like to cosplay as them in and outside of the bedroom. You got 2B in what I believe is a French maid outfit. I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm not exactly a damn maid outfit connoisseur. You got Ram and also that other maid who I can't really remember in Re:Zero. And there's probably a boatload more that I'm too lazy to remember. But seriously, I don't get the maid craze. Nothing against the look, I mean, it's fine I guess. But in terms of kink levels for me, it's probably towards the bottom. And sure, there are ways for it to be pulled off and be sexy, but come on, putting a sexy lady in a maid outfit doesn't automatically make the outfit sexy. My point is that the outfit in itself, without it being altered for lewd activities, just doesn't stand out for me. Now, I'm not bullshitting you guys when I say this, but when I think of a maid, the first place my brain goes to is Black Lagoon. And in Black Lagoon, you have the motherfucking maids of maids. Even though she isn't much of a maid, she takes the crown. I'm talking about a demon in sheep's clothing, the one who is overqualified as a bodyguard, the one who is arguably not a human, at least in the world of Black Lagoon. Before the Terminator anime came out, something I still gotta get around to watching by the way, we had the Bloodhound of Florencia, the living Terminator herself, Big fucking Roberta. I'ma skim through this real quickly to give this a bit more context. So we get introduced to Roberta through her master's son, Little Garcia, who is kidnapped and sold by the cartel. Garcia is the heir to the Lovelace family, who is a powerful family in South America, or at least used to be. Garcia's father sent Roberta Dolo to rescue his son, and through her loyalty and kindness to Garcia's father, because he took her out of the field and right into his family, that loyalty extends to Garcia, as she cares for him. Also, in the OVA, while this is a bit of a spoiler despite it happening within the opening minutes, Garcia's father is assassinated in an explosion, and then Roberta goes into full Terminator mode despite Garcia not wanting revenge. Okay, with that out of the way, it isn't uncommon to have bodyguards who were formerly in the military or some special force unit, but to have someone who's cosplaying as a maid just chilling in the cut, who should technically only be performing house duties like cleaning, doing some cooking, doing the laundry, for them to be having advanced skills in weaponry, hand-to-hand combat, guerrilla warfare tactics, and being a straight-up cold-blooded killer, they obviously filled out the wrong job application. Again, we're not talking about a bodyguard here. We're talking about a motherfucking maid. I was never able to look at them the same way again. I was even looking at Alfred a little sideways after this show. Even though maids and butlers aren't exactly the same thing, there's something about the contrast between attire and profession that's just so insane to me. In this specific example, it's almost like finding out your teacher was on the verge of figuring out a cure for cancer, but decided to teach third period high school gym at an underprivileged school, or finding a devout Satanist in the front row of a church during a sermon, or even finding a piece of chicken breast in your meal while eating at a vegan restaurant. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're obviously in the wrong place here, buddy. Before a show like Black Lagoon, which has one of the most badass female casts in anime, I already knew that Roberta was about to be on some bullshit. The women in this show are built different. You got hot-headed Revy, scary Russian boss lady, nuns who partake in arms dealing and drugs, assassins, and all of them be ready for the smoke. So even though Roberta was dressed like a maid, she wasn't low. I knew what she was. But not even I could have foreseen the type of menace she truly was behind those glasses. Off rip, the fact you couldn't see her eyes should have been a dead giveaway. That cold demeanor that never needed to be flexed. She had the crucifix on full display, feeling no need to tuck that shit while walking the streets of Rowanapur, as if she was daring somebody to snatch that shit, just so she could introduce them to a bad time. Yeah, she meant business, but despite that, people in Rowanapur be talking crazy.
We don't serve milk here.
Then may I have a glass of water? I'm in search of a Colombian friend of mine. Do you know where I might find him?
Order a real drink. This is a bar, you dumb bitch.
Roberta really let Buddy slide right there. She really comes across as that big giant you might have went to school with who never got mad. Until that one time they finally got mad, and then the scene was looking pretty spooky. He's lucky only his bar got f***ed up for talking to Big Berta that way.
Big Berta?
Gotta say, it also says a lot that she was the sole servant of her master's household. I mean, why bother paying for several guards when you have a whole platoon packed into the neat frame of a Colombian woman? What kind of frame of mind does a person need to be for them to walk around with a ton of grenades hiding up their infinite void of a coochie? Yeah, you heard me. I get that Roberta's a pro, but that's like walking around with an insta-death virus in your backpack that's inside a fragile container. All that separates you from the death virus is a layer or two of clothing and the bag's fabric. Someone bumps into you or you accidentally lean on it and you're flatlined. Roberta walking around with the grenades ready to be dropped at a dime's notice is nuts. It's the type of mental work that the Joker would be proud of. Just because you're able to do it doesn't mean you should. Okay, look at this form. That 0 to 100 acceleration? At times it really feels like Roberta might have swiped some of that super soldier serum back in the day when she was out in the field. Because her strength and durability in comparison to other characters in this show is otherworldly. Like yo, they knew what they were doing with her character. She was really on some T-1000 shit, and they played right into it, even referring to her as a killer robot from the future in the English dub. And yeah, I said English dub. For once I listened, chose the dub, and was thoroughly satisfied. In an alternate universe, Roberta takes the place of Arnie in the first Terminator movie. I'm not gonna lie, that shit really might have slapped. I'm not saying I'd have preferred it over the original, but especially for the 80s, and not believing that a normal looking woman could easily rack up a pile of bodies, that contrast could have been pretty nice for the movie. But what do you mean? We have Terminator 3. Yeah, that shit does not exist in my Terminator movies timeline. Sorry, buddy. Alright, so look here. Dutch is a pretty big guy, and even he had a difficult time freeing himself from the grip of Roberta, who was using her off arm, who was also keeping her eyes on the road. All of that resistance Dutch was putting up, and Roberta didn't even flinch. And come on, look at this car jutsu bullshit. Man, don't even get me started on the sniper rifle bullshit in the OVA. Do you know the kind of strength you need to fire a sniper rifle like that and not f up your body? Or, fuck! The strength to catch the swing of a blade with your teeth and shatter it as if she was munching on a damn Jolly Rancher? Damn, Roberta, I'm not gonna lie, that mouth kinda go crazy. But not in a good way. All bullshit aside, Roberta really could have been an athlete out there if she wanted to. She could have been an Olympic gold medalist in sprinting, pole vaulting, shooting, but nope. And all because of loyalty. Roberta can't clean, do laundry, or make you some oodles and noodles with some hot dogs sliced up for dinner, but she will literally hunt your kidnappers, or killers, all the way down to the ends of the earth and put a hot one between their eyes. And despite her not being able to fulfill her maidly duties, all of that should be enough to throw her ass right into prison. Seriously. Because the way she committed all of those crimes at the end of her OVA and not be sentenced a day behind bars is wild. I don't want to get too much into the OVA because I'm still trying to figure out this YouTube shit. But just know Roberta was wilding. Like, homegirl really crashed out. Heavy drugs, hallucinating, numbness to pain after losing limbs. She was going through it. But let me pretend I'm her employer and actually evaluate her to see if I want to continue having her work on board as my maid. Like, let me really sit back and pretend I'm Garcia here. But before some horn dog is gonna say, I can fix her, or hear me out bro, like an idiot, I like having a pair of beautiful legs wrapped around my head like a nice neck pillow during a flight. But Roberta would pop my shit and all of your shit like a grape that's fully ripe, simply by squeezing and flexing her thighs. But oh boy, what a way to go out, am I right? Anyway, what would it take for me to fire her? If you think you're gonna be spilling all of that blood without my say-so and think you're gonna come back with no new skills in cooking or cleaning from your time away that I did not grant you, by the way, sorry ma'am, but now you're unemployed, Terminator or not. The f***ing nerve of you.